Live LCM is the dream come true for AI artists. Hello my friends, how are you doing? Today I want to show you something that is magical and beautiful. It started out as a hype over at krea.ai and you probably have seen it online. Here is a video that shows off where you can draw live, it's updating automatically. You can use the colors and the composition and then over time create a very detailed artwork. Now the thing here is I can't show you that because every time I try to reach out to them, they're not online, and the other way around. It's all a bit complicated. So I just want to do that video. Cut that noise. Here I have a tool for you that is free. You can use it today. You don't have to wait for anything. And it works even better because you can use any model, any software, anything you like. It's just let's get started. Also, I'm over on Twitter, so if you want to follow my shenanigans for AI over there, I created this cool, cute version of me. Reply with your version of my cutesy bearded balded face. But let's talk live LCM. So this is based on a video by Grokster, who is part of my community, also known as Chef Amster. He made this video. I will link it below. You can also watch that. He made a workflow. I made a workflow that's a little bit more extensive. Well, actually, I completely went overboard with what I created here because I give you different options of input and then also a high resolution upscaling output that creates just nice images. So let's have a look at that. So basically what we need here to make this work are two things. The first thing here is we need this kind of LCM LoRa. It says SDXL, but for what I've seen, it also works with 1.5. So just download this file here, FP16, and rename it into the LCM LoRa. It's a 5.14 gigabyte file, but it's still a LoRa, so put it into your LoRa folder, not into the Stable Diffusion Models folder. And then there's also a custom node here that is called the Canvas tab. Now you can use that to draw inside of there. It's a little bit like Windows Paint. It's not very advanced and you can't really change the resolution or the ratio, but it makes things really easy. So for a starting point, this could be really fun to use. So let's go a little bit into the nitty-gritty of what is happening here. And this is actually very easy. So here I have the efficiency node pack. You want to download that too. Now, first of all, how do you get all of that started? Download my workflow that I have created, and then inside of krea.ai, in the krea.ai manager, this thing over here, you want to click on manager and then install missing custom nodes. So this is checking out all of the nodes that are missing. Of course, for me, none of the nodes are missing. Now, as I said, this uses the efficiency pack with the efficiency loader and then also the K-sampler efficient. And as you can see here, I'm using a 1.5 model, which is Dream Shaper 8. I'm using a VAE 840,000. You can also use the baked in, but I like 840,000 for 1.5 models. Then down here I have my LoRa LCM, and then I have my prompt, a negative prompt, just as usual. Now then I load all of that into my K-sampler over here so that things can render. Now all of this over here, everything here, this is an alternative. This is an extension that you don't really need for the process, so you can turn it off. Now what this does is it's rendering it again with more steps, and then it is also doing an ultimate upscale here, and then it is doing a face detailer, and then ooh la la, we have a very nice high resolution image with a beautiful face, and this is coming from our painted image input. Now you will be surprised how crude the input is for that. But like I said, this is optional, so you can turn it off until you find an image that you like. So you go here, right click on that and say bypass group nodes, so all of that is turned off. Then when you want to use the live LCM in here, you can see the LoRa and the model are loaded, and we only have here 12 steps, a low CFG scale. The sampler has to be LCM and the scheduler has to be Keras. And then here I have a denoise of 0.65 because I'm going to use an image input. And to have it automatically update, you go here to extra options up there and simply set it to auto queue. And as soon as you press Q prompt, want, this is rendering one image after another. Now the speed on how fast this updates depends on how good your GPU is. So let's have a look at the different input methods that I have prepared for you. There is 3 different methods. Now the first one here is our Canvas tab. Now here we have the node, up here we have an edit button. When you click on that, this is opening up a separate tab. Here, this is always square. There's no setting for the resolution or for the ratio. But over here, you have your colors that you can use. You have your brush size up here. And something I would highly suggest is that you have individual layers for the different parts of your image. So here you can see I can turn on and off the castle I have painted and the water below. So work with as many layers here as you want. Now, every time I paint something in here, for example, let's paint here some clouds up here, you will see that this is directly updated over here. And then when we have here auto cue set, this is then the new image input. So that makes it super versatile for you to get the update you want. So you can see here on the right side that this is rendering an image and updating every time I change something about my painting here. So for example, let's make the castle a little bit wider and bigger. And you can see that now we have a different image over here. Now I want to suggest to you to play around a little bit with the denoise to see what kind of image quality you get over here. Another thing to point out here that is pretty important is if you only want to change the input of the image while you're painting, but not the image itself too much, you want to have a fixed seed over here. So down here you can see it says randomized and the number. So you can toggle between -1 and the number of the seed by simply clicking on this area. Another thing to point out here is that this version of the image, the one that we render with the LCM, is always going to be bad quality and low detail, but don't be confused by that. Because this is why I built this upscaling part over here for you. So once you've found something you like, you want to stop the auto rendering over here, you want to right click on that area and say set group nodes to always. This means that it's on again. And then now when you render this, it's rendering through all of these steps and giving you a high quality version of it. And so now after this has rendered, you can see that here in the first step, we have a higher resolution version of that image. And then in the upscaled version, we have a much better and also high resolution version of that image. And again, one of the things that is a problem here is that you cannot change the ratio of the image. So I found a little bit of a workaround for you. So when you connect this output to this input here, it is running through these 2 nodes. You can see first, this is going to upscale it to 768 by 768, and then it's doing a crop over here to 512 by 768. And of course, you want to push it a little bit to the side so it's centered. In this case, 128. Takes a little bit of math for this. And as you can see, now I have my input cropped to this size here. And this is happening every time it's updated. Of course, you have to keep in mind to use this cropped output from here, you have to connect this output to our VNE encoder. And like I said, the tools in the Canvas tab for now are very limited. So here is an alternative of what you can do. So I prepared 2 different ways for you to do this. One is to load an image batch from a directory. So you want to put the directory of the folder where you have the image and then connect this to the VAE encoder. Now you can simply save a JPEG file in here and this is going to be loaded as the input. So for example, you can use Affinity Photo with all of the layers, with all of the tools and effects. You can do photo bashing, you can do crude drawings like I did here for the lady in the blue dress. And then you export the file, you save it as a JPEG and it's loaded into ComfUI. If it's not automatically loading for you, you simply click here to the load cap, so it's just renewing the load for you. And of course, the alternative option that gives you even more control over what you want to load is to simply use the load image. Now for that, again, you connect this node to the VAE. So I set everything up for you up here. You simply click on choose file and then you load the file from your folder. Of course, the downside of this is that at that point it's basically image-to-image rendering, but as you can see from this output, it works incredibly well and you have all of the tools of Affinity Photo or any other software you want to use at your disposal, and this makes it extremely powerful. Let me know in the comments what is your favorite method that I showed you today. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching. Bye! Oh, you're still here. So this is the end screen. There's other stuff you can watch like this or that. It's really cool. And yeah, I hope I see you soon. Leave a like if you haven't yet. And well, yeah, I wish you a good weekend.